It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Brenda Pierce is a transformational health and wellness expert, author, broadcaster, and former frontline RN. She has developed her three-part theory to Swell Mastery and believes in integrative approaches to wellness and well-being. She is a Reiki master and a certified hypnotist. She hails from Ontario, Canada. Welcome, Brenda.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here with you all.
Thank you. Yes, we're happy to have you. So today we're talking about the Divas That Care book, Our Mothers, Our Daughters. And you wrote a chapter, I believe it was called My Daughter, My Valentine. Am I right?
That's exactly right. Yes.
Right. So
what a wonderful book project it was. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit, maybe about the book, and maybe you can tell us about not necessarily what you wrote, but what inspired you to write what you wrote.
Absolutely. So this book project, Candace Gish puts the best book projects together, and this one, when I heard about it, I just had to jump right in there. I've always wanted to be part of one of Candace's projects, and so it was just a beautiful opportunity, and I shared it with a couple other gals too who are also in the book, and so a little bit of backstory. I'm not giving away the secrets of the chapter, but yes, I was able to give birth to my daughter, who is my final child, and was a surprise on Valentine's Day. So what a wonderful day to celebrate in remembrance what true love is and what motherhood reflects and all that. But the backstory is that I'm a mother of loss. And so first time around, I gave birth to twins and found out just as my husband had a very serious farming accident and had a C1, C2 hangman's fracture. And so going through having a husband who was on the brink of death and finding out that you're expecting twins, is like something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. But the stress of that caused my one son's heart to become deformed. And so when I gave birth to my twins and then subsequently lost our son Kenny after open heart surgery, 4.5 months, and I had to find the courage to go on in life, and luckily I had a son who could resuscitate me because his needs were so paramount that I had to go on despite the pain of loss, and endure and look at life a whole lot differently. So when I subsequently, not long after I went back to work, 2 weeks after I lost my son, that was the hardest thing I could ever do, along with going into the nursery and looking at the empty crib that would never be filled. So it wasn't long after that I decided that we had to take medication to get pregnant in the first place. And I took the last of the Clomid pills and subsequently got pregnant again with and had another son 19 months from the birth of my first son, surviving son. And I thought my life was filled and that was it. And I never, ever dreamed that naturally and on my own that I would have another child. And this is my daughter, the Valentine. So that, and then you can read the chapter in the book and the journey, the love, the life, and what it's meant to have that gift given to you again when you thought you weren't going to have any more. So that's basically a bit about me and my participation in the book. And I just look forward to, it coming out in time for Mother's Day. How wonderful that is.
It's coming out on May 9th, which is, I think, the week before Mother's Day. I can't keep track of the days anymore, but I think it's
the 13th. Yeah, 13th of May is Mother's Day, so just in time, to get the Kindle version and all that. But yeah, the year's been whipping by, right?
That's right. Yeah, totally. I cannot believe that we're in May. Like it's like super warm here in Edmonton, and I'm like, it can't be May. Like, it just can't be. And then it's warm. It's like, it's not supposed to be warm, right? So I'm all mixed up. So yeah, and the book is available.
It's cool. It's cool here in Ontario, and I'm mixed up because it's usually hot.
So maybe we got your weather and you got ours.
I think so. You want to swap?
Yeah, it's all mixed up. The world is all mixed up today.
It is.
The book is called Our Daughters, Our Mothers. No, Our Mothers, Our Daughters. I mixed up. Our Mothers, Our Daughters. And it's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and Chapters. Yay! I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to reading, your story. And I don't know how many authors are in the book, but I know there's quite a few. So I'm really looking forward to, reading all the stories, because I'm sure there'll be many like yours, that come from devastating hardships, right? Because I'm sure losing your son was not, you explained it's not easy.
That's
I
right.
have twins as well.
And these book projects, too, are amazing because, we're indelibly a family now between the pages of this book. And that in itself is celebration because, during these ensuing past years where there's been a lot of devastation, a lot of, heartache and separation, to create this new community between the pages of this book is like expanding your own family tenfold.
Yes, for sure. Because you realize more and more there are more people that have a story similar to yours, or something that you can somehow relate and resonate with, right? And that brings you closer, creating the community and family.
Exactly, because, there's so many different divergent thoughts, but if we can all come together in celebration of love and, have a common theme together that brings us together, it transcends the troubles. It really does.
It really does, 100%. Have you had a chance to read any of the book on your own, other than your own chapter?
No, I haven't. I put in my order for the Kindle version on Amazon, and and I will get it on May the 9th when it launches, and I can't wait. I'll just, download it onto my Kindle reader and just enjoy every moment, find a nice sunny spot. Hopefully it's warmer here then. And, sit in my beautiful garden amongst the daffodils and the tulips blooming and the green grass and just really luxuriate and celebrate what motherhood and daughterhood is all about.
I love that. That sounds so awesome. Like, I want to go sit in my backyard right now, except I don't have the book to read.
Yeah. I know.
So, I have one more question for you. What would you, so if your kids came to you and said, Mom, we want to celebrate you, what would you like, how would you like to celebrate yourself for Mother's Day? What would be your answer?
Well, as a mother who's had to let her children's wings soar, the one's in BC, one's in Montreal, and one is up in Pembroke area. Closest one is 6 hours away right now. Just to have the three of them and their families and just be together in that garden celebrating together would be such a dream come true right now. With all my heart and soul, it's what I would love to have happen, but you know what? I will get FaceTime visits and I will have telephone calls that day and I will feel their love because no matter where you go as a mother, you carry your children in your heart always. And that's been scientifically proven. Because did you know, and this is a fact, did you know that when we carry our children, we think it's a one-way. We've always been told it's a one-way valve. Everything goes through the umbilical cord to the child. But the reality is stem cells from each of your children come back into your body, and that's what creates that mother connection with your children. Their stem cells implant inside the mother. That's that indelible link that we have been blessed with. And so I know I'm carrying them all with me. All 4 of my children are with me.
Everywhere you go, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a feeling, though. Like, just knowing that, like, it just warms my heart, right? Knowing that no matter where my children go, we will always have that tie.
Absolutely. In each and every one of us have that.
Right, exactly. And I like that there's no one else on this earth that can have that tie with them. I know that's selfish of me, but I love that that's how it is, right? Because they're my children. They're my babies.
Exactly. And when you're a mother, that's the way you want it to be. You always want to come, have that strong connection and know that, yes, you can give them wings, and you give them life, you give them love, and you give them wings. And then they go off and explore, and they meet their partners, and they start to have their children. And my oldest has 2 beautiful children that are my grandchildren so far. And it's just such a gift to see the generations rolling on and their love coming back to you as well.
I believe that. I do believe that. I remember when my kids were born, the way my parents loved them, I was like, seriously, where were you when I was little? But I know, I get it. Like, it's totally different, right? It's like a completely different, it's a different part of life, right? When you have kids of your own, it's work. Grandchildren, you get to enjoy because the work is not yours. It's not your job.
That's right. And our job is to kind of help to lighten the load for our children so that they can have a little bit more of that enjoyment as well, and it's such a sacred gift. It really is, from the divine.
For sure. Yes, I agree 100%. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Is there anything you would like our listeners to know about, or, like if you have some advice or something you could say to our listeners, maybe about the book or even just about Mother's Day coming up here pretty soon?
Oh, absolutely. Would love to. Well, as I say, having lost a son, I think that one of the greatest things is that your life is never the same after, sadly so, but rightly so. And the trajectory of life changes. So it's all about finding joy in today and knowing that even when motherhood turns to the saddest point where you lose a child, the love never ends on this side or the other side. And a piece of you is in heaven. So this Mother's Day, give someone, if you know some mom who's had challenges as such, give them an extra hug and let them know how appreciative you are of their strength and courage to endure and become the mother they are, because it is such a sacred gift. And thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh, thank you so much for joining me. So again, the book, Our Mothers, Our Daughters, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Chapters, and it will be launching May 9th.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.